Welcome, dear students of class 10, to the poem English The Ball Poem. The main theme of the poem is about the ball being lost by the boy, and what are the views of the poet as he loses the ball. He is under stress, and how what is to be done so that the boy is in a position to form a resistance whenever this type of thing happens in his life. So that type of moral story, a historical form it is in the poem, is written in verse, but not a rhyming scheme also is there, and only a verse that gives you the child actually, and you are giving the advice indirectly about what the loss of a thing can be, and how you can in a position you can be in a position, if your elders and this type of knowledge you can overcome this type of losses, and how to you can understand the importance of it. So here, starting the poem, the boy loses a ball. He is very upset. The ball doesn't cost much, for it is difficult to buy another ball. So the cost of the ball is that not that much, as you know. You must be going in and to the shops to buy the ball, and at that time you don't feel that it's very costly to get the thing in a form of a ball. It's cheap and you can buy it. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost. The ball is a symbol. A ball is a prop used by the poet over here, and John Berryman really has worked on it as a symbol, which has a wider meaning and application of, if you see in the context of the poem and the prop. And what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. So ball is not the major thing. The ball is a symbol, and what he has to learn from the experience of losing something, that has to be very well understood by the boy, and indirectly the poet gives you the message what you have to do. What is a boy now? Who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over, and there it is in the water. No use of say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in the world of possessions. People will take balls, balls will be lost. Always. Little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So this is the reading of the poem. Now we'll understand the poem in the context of the lines, what the poet wants to say and give a lesson to you. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is the condition of the boy who has lost his ball? As you know, in the normal circumstances, the ball which is of a dime, the poet says only a dime, dime is no value. But yet, it is so important for the boy that what he gets desperate, and what he does. What is he to do? Now what he will do, he has lost the ball. I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street. Dancing down the street, it goes down, and then merrily over, there it is in the water. As you know, once the ball goes into the water, it's difficult to arrive to retrieve it, to get it back, because it needs wetting yourself and drying, and it floats away into the river. You can't jump and get it, huh? It's risky, it's dangerous. So you let it go. So when it is gone, you cannot get it back. The ball is a symbol. You understand in that context. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. You can't say. Once your ball is lost, your childhood, you can say, or your important thing or a period of time that is lost, it's lost forever. And if it's lost, it is lost. It doesn't come back for you, back. And that's why he says, no use to say, oh, there are other balls. Other balls will come and I'll get, and it doesn't make a difference. Once it is gone, you can't get the ball or the period, the childhood, what you want to get back. You can't get it. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. So, in getting this dime of a ball, dime, which is a cent, 10-cent coin in English, in England, just like we have rupees and paise, they have pounds and cents. In fact, a lower denomination of money. So that means cheap. If you say something in paise, it's cheap. No? In the same way, the cheap thing is being searched and into the harbor for this young days, as the poet says, the young days of his life is spending in the harbor where his ball went. So with the lost thing, he's wasting a lot of time. So his days are lost in that. So he wants to say his childhood is lost if you do things which are not of higher value and you lose time after that, then that period will be gone forever. You won't be able to make or reuse that time or the childhood back. His ball went. I would not intrude on him. Intrude means enter without permission to get into the other's matter. This boy has to tackle with this problem, the poem of the problem of the ball, he has to tackle on his own. I will not get into the matter or involve myself into it. A dime, another ball. If he pays some, nominal amount of money, he will get another ball. It's worthless. Now, it's worthless. No, it has no value. If the same thing, if I can buy for a less amount or very cheap thing that I give him back, it will make no value. Now he senses first responsibility in the world of possessions. So the possessing things which you have in your life, that possessions, what is its importance? That he senses. Who? The child. And therefore, people will take balls. He senses that people will take away the balls, our possessions. Balls will be lost always. Little boy, the balls which you have, the possessions which you have will be always lost. You can't get it back. You cannot retrieve it. And no one buys a ball back. And once it is done, a transaction is done or a thing you have got, no one will, buy it back. Once you have got it, you have to keep it for yourself. You can't get it back. Money is external. There are many things you study many times in your what you can say, in the religious discourses, and your parents make you listen, or you go into a discourse of religion. At that time, many instances are given by these religious preachers that money is external, money doesn't buy anything. And in practical life also we see that money doesn't get you everything. There are many things which, like childhood here, the child, if he loses the childhood, that cannot be bought with money. So money, as a matter of fact, has a limited implications in your life. Many things cannot be bought by money. Joy cannot be bought by money. If money would have bought all the things in this world, then the rich people would have never suffered in life. Yet they do. So money is secondary, is external. He's learning. He's learning. The child, as he grows up, he learns. Well, behind his desperate eyes, the eyes which is the desperation to do something, to get the ball back, to how to get it, and all these things, desperate eyes. The epistemology of loss. The epistemology is what? The understanding the nature of the loss, given in the next page, the meaning. What is meant to lose something? That understanding, is getting. From his desperate eyes, we can make it out. How to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know. This thing, every man should know. A child, here, is symbolic. But every man should know that the possessions which we have has to be lost someday. The childhood for this boy who is lost forever. There are like that many possessions, many things which we have in life, we have to lose. Money cannot buy it. No, many things are involved in this complicated life of men that has very nicely been knitted and indirectly, given you the moral lesson that what you should do in such circumstances, what you should lose and what you should not. Knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So even the loss is there sometimes. The boy has lost the ball, any possession. That doesn't mean that life is gone forever. There should be positivity in life. So once you are positive, what happens? This loss, after many days, you can recover. The losses which you can recover, that's also been told here by the poem. So various interpretations of this poem can be done, and how it can be helpful to us. It can also be, determined from this stanzas which are very beautifully, administered and written by the writer, the poet. The understanding the poem now, we will go through the figures of speech. On the second line, what is he to do? I saw it go. So two, what are there? They're repeated. So repetition, there is alliteration, obviously, WW, and also question mark is there. The rhetoric question is there. A rhetoric question, raised by the poet is called interrogation. So interrogation is one of the three of the figures of speech of the second line of this stanza. Got it? Repetition, alliteration, and interrogation. Merrily bouncing down. Then after that is merrily over there it is in the water. It's exclamation mark whenever there is there the show of emotions in the lines. The poet uses exclamation as a figure of speech, and then at that time we call it exclamation. So exclamation is this line, wherein after that, no use to say, oh, there were other balls. Litorts, no use. Whenever negation is used in a line, then that becomes litorts. Then this climax over here, you get it? As he stands rigid, trembling, staring, this way the rise in the order of his fear, fright, that is, step by step increasing, staring and trembling and rigid. So all this is a climax. It's a climax. And all these young days into the harbor where his ball went. Okay. Then it would not intrude on him. Okay, now he senses first responsibility in that also is not there. Okay, litorts we can say that again, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. That is litorts. No one buys. Huh? That's also litorts over there. Okay, then he senses his first responsibility in this initial part of this stanza. He senses his first responsibility is epigram. Epigram is a pointed saying. You know, the child senses this first responsibility. So that way we can say that these figures of speech are there. Also, I'll give you some more of that, wherein it is in the fourth line from the bottom. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Desperate eyes. Transferred appetite. Okay, transferred appetite, the wrong appetite place where it is put. Transferred appetite is the figure of speech of this desperate. Eyes cannot be desperate. You know, a person becomes desperate. A man, a boy over here becomes desperate. Eyes don't become desperate. Then in the second, last line also repetition and alliteration is there. And the last, there is alliteration. So the John Berryman's poem, the ball poem, it completes over here. You have to write the textual question answers in the figure of speech in your fair book. See you till the next class.